It's almost 72 hours, a brand new year, 2017, and this issue is still very much on the burner. That's the delayed confirmation, or perhaps sending of the name of Justice, the acting CJN Onogan to the Senate. That will be our talking point today in politics today. And of course, the fall of Sambisa Forest, which is very key here. And don't forget what many security experts have been talking about, the fleeing Boko Haram insurgents who just might be in the neighborhood. We'll be speaking with our expert and letting us in on what we can do as a people. Welcome to Politics Today here on Channels Television. I'm Sulaiman Aled, talking about that picture you saw there earlier on of dancing soldiers. It's something we'll come back to, because it's a dance that definitely should continue and be sustained into 2017. But first thing first, they talk about a substantive CJN, Chief Justice of Nigeria. And we're not being joined from our Abuja studios this evening by Professor Maxwell Gidado. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria who will be helping us look at the issues from all sides, talking about this. Professor Gidado, good to have you join us this evening. Quickly, the issue of the acting CJN is something that many have been asking what exactly is the delay about. Perhaps you should be able to tell us what this is about.
Yes, thank you very much, Suleiman, and thank you for having me. Now, the issue about the appointment of a substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria is clearly stated in our extant Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended. And the very relevant section that relates to that appointment is Section 231 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended. Now, that section clearly states in subsection 1 of that section, it states that the three arms of government are involved in the appointment of a substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. One is Mr. President, who represents the executive, and you have the Senate, which represents the legislature, and an arm of the judiciary, which is the NJC. So it states that it is the president that will make the appointment, but on the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, the NJC, but subject to confirmation by the Senate of such an appointment. That's to show you how cardinal and how important that office is to the federation and to the running of the government and the judiciary in general. Now, so what has transpired is that the presidency ought to have set the machinery of appointing a new Chief Justice of Nigeria into motion before the expiration of the term of the last Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmoud, before his retirement at the compulsory age of 70. Now, that did not take place, and I can understand the hysteria. I can understand the anxiety that Nigerians had, because there ought to have been a smooth transition. So, but be that as it may, the law is also very clear, and I believe the presidency have legal advisors. There's the Office of the Attorney General, and also the Office of the Legal Advisor to the President. They're all aware of that. Now, perhaps they wanted to take advantage of the provisions of subsection 4 of Section 231, which says where there is a vacancy in the office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, for two reasons. One, either upon the expiration of the term of the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria, or in the event of the incumbent Chief Justice of Nigeria getting incapacitated or ill, or for whatever reason, not being able to perform the functions of that office, the onus now rests on the president to appoint in an acting capacity, a Chief Justice of Nigeria who will act in the state until a substantive Chief Judge of Justice of Nigeria is appointed, or until that Chief Justice who is incapacitated is well enough to come back and perform the functions of that office. So be that as it may, again, now Nigerians have to be a bit patient. I can see the anxiety. Perhaps they haven't recalled what has now transpired. They're very worried that should a new and a substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria not being put in place, or the present one not being confirmed, what becomes of him after the expiration of the period of 3 months.
I think
so
that's
that's the anxiety that I want to also douse down.
I think perhaps we should also look at it more keenly here now, because you just reminded us of what happened and looking at the books. Perhaps you should also speak to this. Recall that the NJC had recommended Justice Onoge to the president 28 clear days to the retirement of Justice Mahmoud Mohammed. So one would have thought, well, with that long period of time given to the presidency, they should have been able to forward his name to the Senate. And looking at all of these delays, isn't that why we are having all of this talk, even right here and in different quarters among lawyers? How much of time do we have, knowing full well that in some couple of weeks in the new year, the 3 months period of his acting capacity will be over?